So I ran across an article today in something called the conversation.com, and it has to do with those evil terrorists we all know as incels. That's right. Incel violence is a form of extremism. It's time we treated it as a security threat. Last week, a 17-year-old boy in Toronto was charged with an act of terrorism, in addition to murder, in the killing of a woman with a machete. This is apparently the first time such a charge has been brought in a case involving the incel ideology. Also last week, a 20-year-old man who self-identified as an incel allegedly went on a shooting spree in Arizona targeting couples to express his anger over the fact that women had rejected him. These are just two of the most recent attacks attributed to incel terrorists. Incel-related violence has been on the rise for the past 7 years, and according to their research, has been linked to the deaths of at least 53 people and scores of injuries. Tragic stuff. It's also tragic for the over 400 people that were murdered in Chicago in 2019. I think that's a bigger problem. No. Incel is the name adopted by an online community comprised almost entirely of men and boys who rage against women and blame them for their sexless lives. While many are simply lonely and use the community for support in an age of digital isolation, some radicals advocate for social and sexual rebellion. While they don't define what many and some mean, but I think we can take from that it is very few, isn't it? But they want us to think everyone without a girlfriend or a man who can't get a girlfriend, he's waiting for the right moment to spring a terrorist attack on someone. These extremist incels seek revenge through violent attacks against people they call Chads and Stacys, a reference to men and women they perceive as very successful when it comes to sex. There is no question there are Chads. Anyone who's been alive for any amount of time knows there's a certain group of men that can get that like that. That's why they're called Chads. In their new research, we argue governments should recognize incels as ideological extremist organizations, and through stronger policies and laws, start combating misogyny in the same way they fight Islamic extremism. Let that sink into your head for a moment. Anyone without a girlfriend or a wife or a significant other, you could label that man as an incel. And we need to combat misogyny in the same way they fight Islamic extremism. Boy. What do incels believe? In our research, we reviewed incel attacks over the past 7 years, looking at what the perpetrators were posting online and how they were engaging with the others in the community of incels. They found incels are angry because they believe the sexual revolution has made women promiscuous and manipulative. How could you argue against promiscuous? Come on. Do they think we don't remember? Really? They, meaning the incels, believe feminism, the contraceptive pill, and women's involvement in politics have fueled this promiscuity. Can anyone say, with a straight face, the birth control pill along with abortion hasn't increased sexual activity among women? That was the frigging idea. So women could have sex and not have to get pregnant. What does this even mean? But they believe women are choosing to have sex only with Chads, not incels, and feel a sense of injustice and persecution as a result. Women are having a lot of sex with Chad. I mean, this is reality. Do you ever get out of your ivory tower at the University of Western Australia and look around? You don't, apparently. You do not. According to the incel-run Incel Wiki, did you know such a thing existed? These men view Chads as the only male beneficiaries of the sexual revolution. They hate Stacys because they are vain and obsessed with jewelry, makeup, and clothes, and are entitled whores. Chad was the beneficiary of the sexual revolution. Chads were getting laid just as much as they are today, back in the 60s and 50s and 40s. Don't even bother. Of course they were. However, after the sexual revolution, they can have sex with a lot more different women. Oh, I guess that makes me a terrorist to point out reality. These misogynistic views connect incels. Okay, let me just stop there. They hate Chad, right? They hate the fact that he has an easy time getting poontang. And then they write these misogynistic views. Excuse me. Misogynistic would be anti-female. They hate Chad, who has a swinging dick. That's not misogynistic. That's misandrist. But go on. Just try to keep making it look like women are victims all the time. These misogynist views connect incels to other alt-right, anti-women groups like pickup artists and men's rights activists. Okay, let me just stop right there. I don't know if these people are alt-right. I certainly know pickup artists who are in the business of getting laid are not anti-women. How fucking stupid do you have to be to say a pickup artist is an anti-female person? That's what they do, is pick up women so they can have sex with them. I don't know if that would, oh, Jesus. Men's rights activists are alt-right and anti-women. Yeah, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but that certainly is not true. Unless you consider anti-woman is pointing out things that maybe benefit women and men are getting this, oh no, see, that's misogynist. Because women are always victims. So if you point out something, I don't know, maybe men are getting the shaft and something, well, that's because of the evil patriarchy and you hate women. It continues, these groups believe feminine values have come to dominate society, and men must fight back against the politically correct and misandrist culture to protect their very existence. And they're not lying. Alt-right groups, including incels, have been emboldened by the presidency of Donald Trump in the United States. What the hell does Trump have to do with incels? I would like to have them explain that connection. That'd be interesting. Oh, that's right. Donald Trump is a Nazi. I keep forgetting. The incels use online forums to spread their messages of hate, convincing other would-be incels they can blame their social and sexual difficulties on others. Some fantasize about committing acts of violence. So in a way, they're like feminists who want to blame their social problems on everyone but themselves. Oh no. Oh no. Alex Manassian, who has admitted to driving a van onto a sidewalk in Toronto in 2018, killing 10 people. Manassian told police he was radicalized by other incels online. Before the van attack, Manassian posted this message on Facebook. The incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys. All hail the supreme gentleman, Elliot Rodger. Do you think Manassian may have had some mental issues if he calls a mass murderer, Elliot Rodger, a gentleman? Think there was some underlying other stuff going on besides the fact that he couldn't get a girlfriend? No, couldn't be. It's because he was an incel. So the last part of the note refers to Elliot Rodger, who published a 141-page incel manifesto before killing 6 people in a shooting and stabbing spree in California in 2014. He has since become a martyr in the incel community. I don't want anything to do with people who think this guy is a martyr. He was a fucking evil, murdering scumbag. But, you know, he killed a bunch of men, too. Let's not talk about that. Addressing misogyny at a societal level. The research shows incel violence presents a similar threat to public safety as religious extremism, and it's increasing. Religious extremism. Who in the world could they be talking about? I don't know. Incel extremism fits the definition put forth by Home Affairs for violent extremism. The use or support of violence to achieve ideological, religious, or political goals. However, Home Affairs apparently does not view misogynistic extremism as such a pressing issue. Let's see. Rodger killed as many men as he did women. Manassian probably ran over just as many men as he did women. How is that misogynistic? That's called murdering people. But again, you got to spin it to make it look like women are the victims, even when men are as well. But we don't care about men. Come on now. So there's a bunch of links in this thing. I mean, it's a long story. But here is one link. They say something about drinking male tears. Language, the manosphere, and networked harassment. Gee, I wonder why men might be upset about drinking male tears. You man babies, suck it up. Yeah, no, it's misogyny, isn't it? So here's the interesting part in this aspect. Blah, 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 blah. This paper explores the discourse of the manosphere and its links to online misogyny and harassment using critical discourse analysis. We examine the term misandry, which originates in the manosphere. Who would give these people any credence? When they're referring to a word that has existed since the late 1800s as originating in the manosphere, people. It originated over 140 years ago. So what they're trying to do, gentlemen, they're trying to make policy and law. If you're an incel, you're a terrorist. Who is an incel? One can imagine someone who doesn't have a girlfriend or a wife. Think very carefully about this one. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.